All right, we'll take questions for Coach Traylor. JJ, you're up first.
Jeff, how's it going today?
Good morning, JJ. We're good.
How's looking at UAB? How's this opponent looking so far?
They're the reason they've won all those games the last few years. I mean, they've got great talent. They play extremely hard. They're very physical, and they're well coached as well. So it's by far the best team we've played, and it'll be a great measuring stick to see where we are right now.
You mentioned yesterday you guys are a heavy underdog. What is that? How do you convey that message to your team to try and motivate them this week?
You don't really have to on these kind of weeks. That's what you guys are great for. Sometimes y'all can be slightly a nuisance possibly, but this is when you guys are like my best friends because y'all get all that done for me. I don't have to do much, honestly. They hear it, they read it, they know. It's the other when you're the favorite that it's you don't want them reading and listening to you guys. Right now, I want them to listen to y'all all the time.
And then this is kind of your first trip out of state. Maybe like are there any logistical challenges? Getting on the plane, flying. What are you expecting from that standpoint?
We're pretty used to all the mask wearing and the social distancing and the testing. I don't like to fly personally, so the thought of putting a mask on my face and flying, maybe I'll just put it over my eyes so I can just close them. Nobody know that I'm praying the whole time.
All right, Greg, you're up.
Yeah, Jeff, along those lines, is the travel schedule, like when you're flying there and when you're flying back, or how you're navigating the hotel and all that, different because of COVID precautions?
No, sir, I don't believe so. Just the space on the plane, just spreading everybody out might be a little different, so I have to talk to Coach Brown. My DFO does all that, and we know the 70 that are traveling, but I don't know any more details than that. He does all that for me, Greg.
And I wanted to ask you about Hunter Duplessis. He's got the NCAA's longest active field goal streak, if I have that right. How valuable is it to your team to have a reliable kicker at this point in the year?
Well, we've known that all year. We've got a really good kicker and a really good punter, and we challenge our players all the time that you're blessed when you have two guys like that. So we owe it to them to really work hard in special teams, and we've gotten better each week at that. But, yeah, Hunter's on the leadership council. He's great in the weight room. He's great in the locker room. He's just a really good person. The George Floyd situation, he was instrumental on our leadership council, holding our locker room together. I can't say enough great things about Hunter Duplessis.
We ran down a bunch of the injury situations yesterday, but I don't think we talked about Jalen Haynes. Is he banged up at all heading into this one, or what's his status?
Yeah, he'll be fine. He had to come out of the game with just some stuff, but he'll be fine. We expect he'll be able to go Saturday. It's just that time of year, Kids didn't get any spring, and so fall camp was a grind and right into the season, and now you're in week 4. It's just what it is, Greg. Well, he'll be fine.
We also talked about the offensive line some yesterday, ran down a couple different guys, but I wanted to ask you about Josh Oatis. What did he do to earn a role as a starter? How did he get into that position for you guys?
Josh has just done a really good job of buying in. He's a great leader. He's really into his playbook. He knows his stuff. He's worked extremely hard, and he's earned it. So we're really pleased with Josh. We had to get better as a unit up there. That's the hardest thing to get good at. Those 5 people, it's the analogy of kind of like your hand. There's 5 fingers, but they've got to be one unit. And as a head coach, I've got to quit moving them around and let those guys get a little settled with each other because the communication up there is so important. But we're real pleased with Josh.
Does that apply to within games too? I know you in the opener you rotated them a little bit. Are you still going to be sort of rotating linemen in and out, or would you like to see it be consistent?
It just depends on the conditioning. If we feel like someone's tired or banged up, we're going to try to take a little bit of a load off of them. That first game, obviously, it was about 110 on the field, and we just knew, we would like to get 80 snaps in the game, and we just knew it'd be hard for a 300-pound fella to make it 80 snaps in the very first game. And the Alamo Dome is 72 and partly cloudy, so you can play a little longer in the dome. So it just kind of depends. Each situation is a little different, Greg.
Are you more comfortable with the pass blocking or the run blocking at this point? Are they stronger in one area than the other?
Kind of like our offense. It's been both. It's been up and it's been down. We've been really good at run blocking at times, and we've been really bad at run blocking at times. And I would say our pass protections have gotten more solid each week. We missed, a couple of twists in the SFA game, and we missed a sound fire in this game, but we missed a nice little cross stunt in this game as well. But that's not just linemen now. That's tight ends. That's running backs. That's quarterbacks. It's a team game. It's not just like it's the offensive line. That's all of us.
Hey, JJ.
Jeff, we've talked a bunch about Tariq Woolen at the cornerback position, but what about the guys on the other side? Corey Mayfield seems to be having a good season for you guys, and even Xavier Spencer coming in giving you guys some quality time. What about those other cornerbacks?
Corey had his best game of the year. He was one of our Triangle of Toughness Award winners this week. And so we're really pleased with how his development's coming on. We've got two young kids over there as well. You have Javion and Xavier. They're both getting a little bit more reps each week, and they're coming on. And we expect nothing but, each week for those guys to get better.
What about the rest of the defensive backfield? Last week when we talked with Coach Nix, he thought they were getting better as, the games have gone on. What's been your analysis, I guess, from the safeties, with the safeties?
They did a good job with their tempo last week. They upped the tempo on us, and we had a few times we didn't get lined up correctly, but we didn't play a deep ball one time, but missed a tackle or two. That's just going to happen. Coach Lepp, and Coach Graham do a good job back there, and those kids have gotten better each week. And we're actually pretty deep at that position. So we can rotate kids and keep kids fresh, and that's huge for us back there.
Also this week we've talked about a good amount about Jamal at the inside linebacker position. But what about Trevor? He seemed to have a good game this past week also. Are those two kind of coming together?
I agree, JJ. It was Trevor's best game. He played the hardest he has played from start to finish. I was extremely proud of Trevor. I couldn't agree with you more. He's maturing right before our eyes. And, those guys love Coach Nix, and they don't want to let him down. And they just, like I've told you, he's just gotten so much better off the field. And you've heard me say it a million times, before you're going to be a winner, you got to look like a winner and act like a winner. And we're starting to do that in smaller phases off the field, which has helped us squeak out 3 wins.
Okay, anything else for Coach Traylor? Oh, Greg? Okay.
We were just talking about the secondary. I wanted to ask you about the challenges of slowing down Austin Watkins for UAB. What jumps out about him?
That one's 6, right?
Yeah.
I just know kids by numbers. I'm terrible. I'm old school about that. He's dynamic. I mean, he can beat you deep. He's got great hands, top end speed, shifty. He's an elite football player. I like 5 as well, the slot. I think both those guys are dynamic, and we're going to have our hands full. It's exciting though, because you find out where you are when you play the best, and these guys have been.
Backs shadow certain receivers, or do you like to mix it up during the game? What's sort of the philosophy on that?
We'll find out Saturday. I mean, it's common sense a little bit, but you got to be within the structure of the defense. So, Coach Nix and I have talked about that a little bit, and we'll have some stuff this Saturday. It might be a little different than it has been.
Hey, Hector.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
You mentioned the eking out those 3 wins. As stressful as it is in the moment, and as much as fans would love, the fourth quarter blowouts, when you look at these first three games and in terms of, the team and, getting through moments like that, is that a positive that it's faced three such situations, and all three times it's come out victorious?
There's no games in a row. We were successful in one, unsuccessful in two. So when you get 4-minute offense, you get 2-minute offense, hands team, we've had to cover punts under critical situations, kickoffs, and every single play. Y'all felt it. Y'all been covering the games. It's felt like it's the play. So there's no doubt it's going to help us down the road, Hector. My concern is, can our depth hold up playing that deep in the game and playing so many snaps, especially with the teams we have coming up in front of us? Just can we last and continue to practice at the effort it takes to be great? And that's where recruiting and developing your roster really comes into play. We've just got to get deeper.
Coach, is there a certain, for lack of a better way of putting it, the it factor, the whatever, the teams that seem to thrive in those types of situations, a lot of them experience laden, things along those lines. But aside from that, is there something that can be learned, aside from, the importance of the depth, from the players who are out there, a knack, something that they can take away that they move forward with for other close games and kind of leads them to be able to excel in similar situations?
There's no secret sauce to this. If there was just a secret pill, we'd all just take it and go win. It really gets down to, that it factor you're talking about. It's a very, very short word, but there's so many words described in that it factor. Players having the awareness, the ability, the mental toughness, the physical toughness, all those culture pillars we talk about all the time, Hector. That's what makes you a winner. And I know we all want that little simple answer. It's just not quite that simple. You got to be a person of integrity. You got to have passion, mentally and physically tough, selfless, perfect effort, trust the process and win the day. You got to get enough of those guys on your team. Now, when you get put in those situations and the more success you have, obviously the more confidence you're going to gain, which might make you believe in your coach more, your position coach more, practice more, the plan more. So no doubt, as much as I don't want to talk about winning and losing, success does help.